I was born ready like fish and spaghetti.
Ooh, the fish and spaghetti.
Call it fish and spaghetti, but don't really mean your fish and
spaghetti. So let's get it.
Yeah.
That joint was so fire when that came out.
Oh my God.
Shaking to that shit.
Oh my God.
Yo, I'm just trying to figure out where that other Harlem Shake shit that them kids was doing. What niggas was
oh my God,
the fake Harlem Shake. Like, why they call that them Harlem Shake?
I do not miss that shit.
Wait, why don't you miss that?
I do not.
The Harlem Shake days? What?
Because it's just like.
Yeah, I always wish I could Harlem Shake when I was a kid.
Because I'm a girl, and it was just.
Yeah. What up, y'all? This is another episode of the R.I.C. I am Sean Johnson. Old head Steph. Sade Renee. What's up, y'all? What we got, Sade?
Hey guys. So, I thought this was kind of interesting because I love Kid Cudi, but Kid Cudi didn't get no love in his last show. So he walks off the stage after fans throw shit at him. Like he said, stop fucking throwing shit at me. You throw one more thing at me, I'm walking fucking off. And they were booing and yelling and still throwing shit. Where, like, why would they do that? Like, what did he do to deserve that?
Don't fuck with me.
Kid Cudi though.
Oh shit, they really throwing shit at him.
Like where? Like what? Where?
Yo, they really disrespecting the GOAT.
And in the same night.
Oh.
Yo. I will walk off this stage. If y'all throw one more fucking thing up here, I will leave. I will leave right now. Throw one more fucking thing on the stage and I will walk off. I'm not fucking playing. You will ruin it for everybody. I will fucking leave.
Yo, what would you do?
One more fucking thing.
Yo, Gino.
One more fucking thing on this fucking stage, I'm leaving. Don't fuck with me.
Oh, hold on. The light's in the way? Hold on.
Oh, you trying to see it?
Yeah. If I get hit with one more fucking thing, if I see one more fucking thing on this fucking stage, I'm leaving. Don't fuck with me.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I probably would wild out. I probably if I see who threw it, I don't know. Right? Like if I was Kid Cudi, you asking me?
But everybody was throwing stuff. It wasn't just one person.
So then you just got that, bro. Ain't really much you could do. You can't fight the whole crowd.
Yo, is Kanye really that influential?
I was about to say, because in the same night, Kanye
I think that's crazy though. Like that's like Kid Cudi, my nigga.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where did this hate from Kid Cudi come from?
When did it start?
I didn't know nobody fucked with him like that. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought he was the man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really think.
I think that was just the crowd, dogs. Because you gotta understand, like it's like. Kid Cudi, like there's a new generation coming up, so they may not really fuck. Like Kid Cudi hasn't really done anything crazy in the last 5 years.
But like even like what he talks about, I mean, you would think like he's on the wave. He's been on the wave that everybody's on now. He's been there. He's been talking about struggling with depression. He's talked about all that stuff. Isn't that what everybody's talking about now? Yeah. Isn't everybody sad now? So what? Like out of all the people you don't like is Kid Cudi.
Yeah,
that's just like straight up disrespectful.
I just think that was a crowd. Like that's a very specific group of people that I guess they just wanted to see Kanye. I don't know.
I was saying in the same night, like didn't Kanye like dub him and showed up on Little Dirk's and performed a song that Kid Cudi was on the song.
I think that's probably what it is though, because he had beef with Kanye recently, right?
Yeah, over the Pete Davidson thing.
Oh, so shit, yeah. I guess that's what it is then. Maybe that's what it is.
Do men never grow up?
What do you mean?
Like, it just seems like that's like boy behavior. That's like, do you get what I'm saying? That's not
the crowd, or are you talking about like what Kid Cudi and Kanye?
Yeah, like isn't there I don't know. Maybe it's just the world they're in.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, say for instance, like if me and my shorty like went through like a public breakup or whatever, where like it got like kind of disrespectful and there's a next man involved and then like publicly with my kids, and then and then SJ is like taking photos with that nigga, I think I would feel some type of way.
So it's like the audience, like overall, they picked Kid Cudi at the end of the day.
No, they picked Kanye. What you mean? They picked him.
I mean,
yeah, I guess what you mean. I mean, I agree. I mean, I think it's going a little far with the crowd getting involved. I don't believe in fans getting involved in like celebrity.
I mean,
it's not that deep.
Us being a part of that whole, it was like a show. It's like a show watching them. Like how can fans not feel a way and not get overly emotionally involved when they're fans? Like that's just what they do. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like everybody's a little unstable.
Yeah, like, that's what I think.
I feel like they've taken this like celebrity. They're making their lives a little bit more public and like showing everything that goes on. I feel like we've taken it too far. I don't give a fuck if y'all get divorced. I don't care if things don't work out. I feel like they've kind of made a spectacle of themselves.
Yeah, we should.
And now we're bringing just fans in it, and you're ruining other people's careers over your personal beef.
Damn, they hit that nigga right in the grill too.
Yeah, that's mad. That's mad disrespectful.
But at the same time, mad artists get things thrown at them on stage.
Yeah, we just
like you see that all the time.
Yeah, they don't like make it a big thing like all the time, but that's happened to everybody. Like I've seen, who was it the other day?
But I feel like it's always disrespectful.
It's always disrespectful.
You can just be quiet.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a way to protest and like get somebody to
getting hit in the face.
That made me want to fight, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like any human being like doesn't deserve that. I don't care if you're a celebrity or not. If you don't like me or not, like to go out your way to like hit me in my face and I'm on the stage. That's really embarrassing. That's really humiliating.
At the same time, too, right? This is your job.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these artists are. They have the opportunity to travel the world and perform their own songs in front of millions of fans, and he's getting a bag for that. Is it unprofessional for him to be walking off stage because it's a tough crowd?
No.
Absolutely not.
You standing on stage while people throwing shit at you?
Just because you work somewhere, like for the McDonald's workers, I got to deal with the shitty ass customer that throws food at them. That's not part of my job description. Absolutely. I didn't come up here to get disrespected. I don't care. And I know a lot of people.
So does he deserve to have that bag if he only performed half of his set?
Give him his bag.
And he walked off stage?
Because security should have did something about it. The venue should have did something about it. You want me to come here and do my job. The crowd's not allowing me to, and your venue is not protecting me and making me feel comfortable to do my job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm getting my bag and I'm leaving. Like hell yeah. I'm sorry. I don't like when like people be like, oh, you make all that money, so you should just be okay to shit that a normal person wouldn't be.
Because certain things come with the job.
Yes, criticism, words. Anytime shit get physical, that's out of the. I'm sorry. Nothing should be physical. Nothing. Yeah. Anything to get physical is not okay. Not okay.
Well, you're a police officer. It's gonna get physical.
Yeah, but even a police officer gets time off when he goes through something like that.
Yeah,
I know. I'm not gonna say names, but I know a cop that somebody threw toilet water on him.
Like how does that work? How you know them scoop the toilet water from him?
That's funny.
I ain't gonna get into it. Yeah. Somebody threw toilet water on him.
That's part of the job.
Got 6 months off.
What?
Oh, because it's assault. So in this case, is it assault?
That's assault. Yes,
that is assault.
He was.
If somebody else, if that would have happened in another place, and that would have happened, that person would have gotten in trouble for assault.
Yep.
That's not okay.
It probably would. The dude probably is going to get in trouble if he threw it.
Mad people could be in the crowd.
I know, but somebody's going to point out somebody, and maybe every one of them not going to get caught. Somebody will get caught in that crowd.
Right.
Especially the niggas in that crowd that wanted him to perform. You just ruined that for me? Oh, hell yeah.
Some niggas be on their shit though, because I forgot what artist it was. Somebody threw something and they stopped the show. Who threw that?
Yeah, who do that? Picked him up and launched the nigga into the. Who was that?
Oh no, Akon did something.
Akon launched the nigga, but then there was another nigga that more recently that jumped in and squared that nigga. Like it might have been
It might have been
X. Wasn't it X?
No,
X did some shit like that too, but it wasn't. Somebody recently did that.
Somebody I know
that's really like that. It made me want to think.
Was it the baby?
It might have been the baby or Lil Baby.
Or Little Baby. One of the two.
One of the two did that.
It was one of those. It was in that.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry. I'm totally for that, bro. Because in the end, I don't like when people. I mean, mind you, I'm not by any metric rich, but I don't like when people say, "Oh, he got money, so it's okay." I hate that. It's just like, bro, do we stop like being human when that happens?
I get what you're saying, but with like a high like if somebody's paying you like an excessive amount of money, it's like the more money that you're granted is like the more responsibility you have for that job.
So you're responsible.
So
for
you're
people
responsible.
attacking you?
I'm not saying you're responsible for people attacking you,
like,
but with great
hazard pay.
It's like with great power comes great responsibility.
But you gotta, I get what you're saying, and I get it. But you gotta think also. These people are talked about all fucking day.
Part of the job.
It's part of the job. So this is their norm.
Yeah.
You gotta like look at what Will Smith did. He slapped Chris Rock. That's totally wrong for that. But you gotta think the psychological point. Every human being has a tipping point. You know what I mean? There's only so much we can take. I don't care what you're getting paid for. I don't care what like when we in the military, we go overseas and like we're behind enemy lines. We get mad money. Untaxable money. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good amount of pay.
But look what y'all gotta deal with.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But at the same time, look how we come back.
Yeah.
So in the end of the day, like I'm not comparing that to, whatever. But it's just still something psychological that you gotta deal with, my nigga. Like
that's what I'm saying.
How do you look yourself in the mirror knowing that, I just got this bag. Yeah. But the bag is normal to you now. So this is just regular income. You know what I'm saying? It's like you get something new that's like, say if you get a Maserati today.
Yeah.
After a year, nigga, that Maserati is just your car. It's just your car. But now you're getting bottles into the face, and you got to look yourself in the mirror tomorrow. How do you feel about yourself? That's what I'm saying,
like self-respect versus money.
I look at it like, I'm also playing devil's advocate.
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to get, you know me. Yeah.
I know you.
But think about like people that get into the drug game, right? Yeah. And they're not college grads. They figured out a way how to provide for their family. Mm-hmm. They figured out a way to get a bag, put their daughter, put their son through school, all of that because they sell kilos, right? They've been selling kilos for 10, 15 years, and they suffer from insomnia because they always got to put the gun under the bed. They always got to watch their motherfucking back. But guess what? It's part of the game.
It's part of the game.
You get what I'm saying?
That's fucking sick. I'm sorry. That's sick to say to like.
It's what you choose.
I know. I'm saying to live in a world where this is what the fuck we're accepting for money.
I don't think it's acceptable, but sometimes
what everybody's saying is like this is a part of what we do. When you go do that and you get that, you do this. Like that's sick. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's fucking sick.
It is sick, but that honestly
that's sick to even have to send people over to get traumatized, and it's like, well, you got the bag, you're gonna get money for the rest of your life. I don't know what to tell you.
It's the ugly truth of the world.
The world treats people a certain way, so it's hard to get out of school. You're a drug dealer.
What's the other option? Before
I said the fact that we live in America and this is a reality. I said that's sick.
Right.
There are no other options. It's fucking America.
Kid Cudi, he was working in a retail store. Yeah. He was probably getting a little over minimum wage. Yeah. Now he can tour the whole world. Yeah. And his kids is good right now. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? There's some type of sacrifice. There's some type of... That's just the way life works.
And we don't even know what else he's going through.
That's true.
For instance, like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, it's like the Pinocchio story by Kanye West. Like, when everybody sees you and say, hey, you ought to laugh because... Why you mad? You got all this money. You're Kanye West. You should be happy all the time. Yeah. Because you're you. But they got regular problems just like everybody else.
Right.
Matter of fact, they probably got worse problems, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll find. Remember the other day we was having a conversation about like people that that are okay being just common. They don't want to be. There's kind of a beauty in that. That's why they're saying
there's a simplicity to it.
Yeah.
Because it's like the less you know, the less you got to deal with, the less responsibilities. It's like, I want to live in a bubble sometimes.
But that kind of reminds me, I forgot who was on the radio station, and he was saying like the Mario Winans song, if like your girl's cheating on you and she's fucking everybody on the block and your best friend knows. He said, if my best friend knows that my girl is fucking everybody on the block and she's disrespecting me, don't tell me.
Nah,
because that's ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah, but that right there.
That's what he was saying, and I was listening to him, and I'm like, nah, my nigga gotta tell me.
My nigga gotta tell me.
You gotta tell me.
So, but that's the thing, though. That's like living a lie. Like, so I'm.
So, is ignorance? Is your analogy living a lie?
Okay, so here's the thing.
It is.
There's a limit to I'm not. When I say there's a beauty in it, there is a beauty in it. I'm not saying for me.
It's more about simplicity.
It's the simplicity. So like living a lie versus just being away from the rat race and like living away from that. There's a give and take with each one of them.
Well,
so
knowledge is a burden. The more you know, the more you're kind of like. Like the more you're questioning things, the more you're kind of a little bit more weary about going about things, or you're kind of know what you're going into, and it's just like, but if you don't know and you're ignorant, you're like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. And when shit hits you, you're like, and you just keep it moving. So there's a simplicity to ignorance.
And like, you know what's funny? It reminds me of a story. I dealt with this girl, and remember we talked about the avid animal lovers and how I find it a little strange. And they were just like, I want this type of pet and I want this. It's like a very rare dog that she wanted, and it was like a specific breed that was like crossbreeded with it. I'm like, do you know these dogs are like crossbreeded so many times, and they're like their quality of life is horrible because they can't breathe properly. And I'm like, humans are kind of like fucked up for doing that. Like y'all are like creating these like mutations of dogs that are like or animals that just so you can put it in a bag and wear it as an accessory and like feel good about cuddling and taking care of it, but their quality of life is horrible and you're like contributing to that. She started crying and I was just like, my bad. Like I just like I went on this rant and I was just like, you know what? She was living in her bubble.
We have that in common. I do that a lot.
Yeah, so you see what I'm saying? So she was living in her bubble and she was happy about this, like, oh, I'm about to do it, and I kind of ruined it for her. Oh well. And I'm just like, you know what? I should just let I don't know, like I don't know anymore.
Sometimes you do have to let people be who they are.
Let people like.
But sometimes I'm sorry. I'm glad to burst your bubble. Like I do, my daughter, she's like, I'm like, do you know where that came from? She's like, don't tell me. And sometimes I'm like, all right, go ahead. Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, nope, you have to know this. Yeah, and I'll tell her. So I've learned to like differentiate when to pop that bubble, because before I didn't have that. Before I just used to walk around saying all kinds of shit. Like I remember it was like Christmas time or New Year's Eve or something like that, and I'm like, it's not New Year's, everything's dead. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, you're a Debbie Downer. I'm like, no, this is fake. I don't want to participate. And I ruined everybody's night.
You know what?
I ruined everybody's night by it, but I didn't give a fuck.
And that's I feel like those are the times that I don't mind it. Like when people are trying to like judge me for not like doing what they're doing, and because they think that's what I'm saying. You have to kind of weirdo, and I was like, well, I'll tell you why. That's when I'm like, all right, y'all want to fuck around. Well, this is why what y'all doing is stupid, and yeah, I'll burst a bubble then. But it's like that's why I said discernment between knowing when to burst the bubble and when to say, you know what, let this person live. They're happy in their little stupid world. They're dummies, but whatever. If it doesn't, I say if it's not going to affect me, or if it doesn't affect me, let them be who they are. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. But as far as Kid Cudi, I don't know, man. Like I get what you're saying. I know you're playing devil's advocate, but I get what you're saying, and as like, you know, it comes with the territory. But it sucks that that's the way we are as people, especially in this country or this society. Everybody's kind of individualistic, and nobody wants to. Empathy is like a very far-fetched idea these days. It seems like, but fuck it. I don't know. I commend Kid Cudi for not jumping off that stage and headbutting somebody in the fucking face, because I feel like that's something I would want to do.
Yeah, I think it takes strength to not retaliate to something like that. Yeah. And speaking of like humility and the way kind of rappers are perceived, or people in certain worlds are perceived and how they're supposed to respond to things, I found a little article or just like a little video, and it was saying like Lil Baby says he would rather be a lame than a gangster. And he's just kind of like, I guess in an interview, and he's just talking about just not, he'd rather be lame than a gangster. And like in that case of Kid Cudi, it's almost like he chose to like, I'm not doing this. And you know, like some people aren't, especially in that world, they'll take the other out. And I
really like Lil Baby.
So do I.
Like at first I wasn't.
You can scroll to the next. There's a video.
I really like him. I feel like he's a very intelligent younger dude. Like
he's a terrorist.
I don't want to be no G. I want to be a lame sucker. There's different gangsters though. You know what I'm saying? He's different gangsters, different category. What's gangster? But I don't want to be gangster at all. I don't beef at all. I'm never gonna beef. You know, everybody have problems. You know, some people might not like me. I don't like certain people, but on this platform, I'm here to handle the business. And the beefing ain't the business. To me, beef is when somebody get shot, somebody get hurt, somebody die. Then it's beef. Other than that, it ain't really beef to me. Everybody nowadays want to be a gangster.
See,
I would say that's kind of like what the situation with Kid Cudi. He chose one or the other. It's like you choose one or the other.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same.
It's not the same, but what I'm saying is like just how, you know, people in music industry respond to certain situations. Their persona will cause them to feel like they have to retaliate.
No, I just like the way, like, I like because he that's somebody I respect for the simple fact that he understands. He keeps it on wax. You know what I mean? He makes the music. He still talk about some gangster shit, but at the same time, he understands, like, man, look, niggas is dying left and right. There's no reason. I don't need to, like, prove my masculinity. I don't need to prove my gangster. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I'm here to get this money, and I'm cool with that. When somebody does get, you know, die or shot, or if that's the case or something, we'll take it there if we have to. But in a sense where it's like, I don't want any unnecessary drama. I'm not here talking about, I'll shoot this nigga, I'll kill this nigga. It's not necessary, man. A lot of these rappers, like, kind of nowadays, kind of like, not even nowadays, this is all time, like, kind of like, I don't know, like, I guess us as a society kind of like gets entertained by it, but like 50 was entertaining. Like 50 like had no problem being the aggressor, had no problem with confrontation. Which, hey man, that shit is entertaining. That's entertaining, and it's I guess we love 50 for that. But at the same time, like, I think like anybody can get killed. Like anybody, luckily 50, you know, made it through and never got hurt. But I can't commend a person that's just like welcoming confrontation every day. Like that's just like, you know what I mean? Like, you never know who's going to get hurt involved with that. You got family, you got friends, you got people that work around you. You're in a business that people are not in that type of lifestyle, but they have to be around you. You don't know who may be affected by that. So I feel like it's kind of responsible, and it shows well. It's very becoming of him, of what, you know, of his awareness of the dangers of beefing. I like that.
Right.
Yeah, like after that, you know, we came up from a different era, and I think we understand. Well, these new kids understand too, because in this new generation, we probably seen the most rappers die out of any generation.
Yeah, we only had two. We really only had like two significant.
Biggie and Pop.
Right.
Who else does?
A lot of people died though, but it wasn't a lot of the new deaths are like due like a lot of gun violence.
But it's like rap beef, block beef, like Tupac and Biggie it was similar to that. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of comparing like the two music industry beefs that we had, where like you see like King Von,
XXX,
Dolph.
Just
Smoke
like
Pop.
Smoke. Pop Smoke. Yeah, man, people. Yeah,
like they. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and it's like it's a beef block, or it's like block beef, or it's like stuff going in their little world that they're just taking out.
Even the shit with 6ix9ine, like shit just got.
It's different.
Shit.
They took beef to a new level.
It's like rowdy. They're like rowdy and like. Just wild.
Pretty much like gun ho to like.
They're off the hinges.
Yeah, they're a little off the hinges. Like I don't think I would make gangster rap if I was a youngin' these days. I think I'll make like fucking Kid Cudi type music.
Do you think the trap artists or trap music's like gonna go on its way out? Like with the whole R.I.C.O thing with Young Thug
I hope so. A lot of these niggas gotta stop telling on themselves.
There's like two other Atlanta rappers that they're like saying they're about to get caught with the same thing. The same woman who took Gunna and Young Thug down, she's like, there's two more guys. And everybody's trying to figure it out, and everybody thinks it's Lil Baby, 21 Savage, YFN. Well, YFN Lucci, I think he's already locked up. But there's like a couple of other people. Everybody's trying to like figure it out. And it's like, she said like in the next couple of weeks, they're going to get hit with the same with the RICO. So it's like, I feel like we had this conversation before about like the response, like considering what we're putting out and what kind of like what is being perpetuated, whether it's being pushed or not. It's just like music is kind of taking it to this very scary level where everybody's like, they're just like to their own detriment. The music they're making is kind of putting themselves, their lifestyles on the forefront. And now, you know, these young guys kind of like build these whole careers and now it's being taken away because of the lifestyle they chose to live, and then they made money off of it being musicians, and now this is where they end up.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of telling on myself on wax. Like, I just don't understand. I mean, I get it. Like, I know how it is being in the studio and caught up in the music. You got a little bud going in your system, little drinks, and your niggas is around and shit is going good. I get that.
Do you think it's supposed to be a little bit more performative than just like writing your autobiography and rap? Because is it like I don't know. I don't think I fully understand if rap is supposed to be like true to who they are, or if it's just like an expression of what they've been through.
I think it's an expression of what they've been through. It's like, yo, like, you remember like we used to go out at night and like, you know, was going through bad shit, and we had like a good ass night, my nigga. Like some crazy shit happened, and like, oh, like we almost get police or anything involved. Like, and we come out unscathed. It's like, and then we end up in the studio and like somebody says a line or something that's referring to it. Like, he know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, my nigga, you gotta. And then it's like, and then it's feeding off of that.
I get what you're saying, because you're like, I did that.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that's what it is. I remember one of my cousins had was in the store getting jumped by some blood niggas, some Crip niggas. And like a couple of, I'm not gonna say who was there. There was a lot of people there, and I was the only one to run up in the store and like fight with him. And everybody else was like scared, and they stayed outside the store. And then later on, and he made a song, and he mentioned that in the song, and like it just kind of like it was like, I don't know, that validation felt good. And it's just like, it's something that me and him got a connection on forever.
You know what it's like? It's like watching a movie, and like a scary movie, right?
Yeah.
And right before the shit starts, it says based on a true story.
And it's like,
so now it's like, this shit is scary. Oh, this shit can happen.
It's like, it kind of like, it amplifies the music. So I guess.
Where does it cross the line though?
Because
now they're using their lyrics. They're using their lyrics in court.
Where YSL is at, that's where the line is.
They're using now they're using your lyrics against you. Like NBA YoungBoy just got off.
Yeah, I saw
he just
that.
got off.
I saw he got off the
and
case.
They wouldn't let them use his lyrics.
Okay.
However, they're trying to fight to make lyrics.
Like evidence.
Use evidence, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I get expressing it, but
but it's not like
where's the line?
No, but the way they're using it in court is like they're using it to say that you know this person.
Yeah.
Cause say if you on a track and you're like, yeah, me and SJ went to the club. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know SJ. Yeah. So this conspired. You're affiliated, but they're not saying like, oh, if you
said this
on the block that you're the one that did it.
No, that's what they are doing. They was using his like slang. Slatty was saying like, that means you killed somebody. Wipe his nose means you killed somebody. Like they were literally breaking down the lyrics, like the lingo, what they were saying, what it meant. Then they were coinciding when the song came out and when a crime happened. So it's a lot deeper than association. I think they're trying to decode the lyrics and apply it
to like what
different cases, because there were like a whole bunch of cases that they had unsolved, and they were like basically drawing a map of like the song, the lyrics, and then when something happened and when it came out, they were like, it's a lot deeper.
Okay, well I don't know. Again, my disposition is stop telling on yourself. I know it heightens the music, makes it seem more authentic, but it's like, man, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, man. You can make a song about anything. I'm not, and again, man, like I don't know. Ivana's got to stop, but if that's the life you live in,
I wish you lived in a different world.
Don't make you an artist. Just because you sing, don't make you an artist. You might just be a rapper. You might just be a singer. Artist, that's in your spirit, bro. That's a calling.
Is she talking about
Just
like a
because you
creative?
rap.
She's talking about more of a creative than a entertainer or a rapper.
I don't even know why I like this video, honestly. I thought she was going to say something that was...
I would say I don't think she was clear enough.
I think that's very broad and it's art is subjective. So like,
right. So, but I was also thinking
somebody's not an artist.
But I was also thinking like a creative versus an artist. You get what I'm saying? Like a creative just kind of can't help but create whatever they do. Their dressing's creative. Their hair's creative. Their anything kind of.
I think that's art as well, though.
It is art, but there's a difference. I think like when you think of a rap artist, he's a rapper. You get what I'm saying? And he creates through rap. I don't think she was like clear enough. It's hard to like.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough substance in that post, and also sometimes I be thinking people trying to get too wordy.
Not like
she didn't use enough words.
Exactly. I think she didn't use enough words.
I'm about to say she's kind of
creating
vague.
the whole like she's like who was the fucking like the judge of that? Like I don't know. I there's so much art that I don't understand.
But that's
the
point of art.
That's exactly the point of art.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make it not art.
Right.
You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Yes.
Like me, like I try to hang out with and do art with other artists that have the same like perspective in their head as me.
Yeah.
You know, like I like crafting, like fully crafting a song. Other people like going in the studio and not really thinking about it and like
I don't like that.
And just like
but that's what I'm saying.
It's almost like a repetition exercise for them.
And and I'm not gonna lie, you see that right there is a very great example of like art being, you can't force art. Like I got rappers or artists that I've grown up with and we get in the studio and nothing comes out. It's just because we have different approaches. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. And
I've have artists that like, I don't even know. And it's just like, we click. Like one thing for sure, like me and Larry, we in the studio, like we just, it works. Like we can't make a bad song together.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so upset. Like shout out to Larry, but like Larry's a little, all over the space. You know how you are. He's all over the world. He's kind of like he's like the fuck. I call him like a Kurt Cobain. He's just like he's got to be free. So he's like you can't really get him constructed into like a schedule. So it's hard to get shit done with him. But when it happens, it's magical. And then there's other artists that I love their sound, and I'm like, I can see like, oh man, we could do so much together. And it's a little harder because it's like sometimes it gets too calculated, where it's just like
you know what I think I might be one of those artists. There's some friends where we can only work on when I'm servicing them. You get what I'm saying? Like so, like I know some artists where. Only if I'm making a music video for them and I'm like, what's your ideas? And I'll bring it to life. You know? Because when it's time to have like a collaborative effort on a track and we're both tasting the gumbo and we're like, yeah, that tastes good. Yeah. We have different taste buds. Yeah. So it's like, ooh, this tastes good. I'm like, nah, that needs something more earthy, bro. Yeah. That needs more salt. And you're like, no, I think it's perfect. Yeah. So I'm not setting that out with no salt. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and it doesn't mean you're a bad chef. Or I'm a bad chef.
It's just about complimentary. It's about complimenting each other.
As chefs, we don't really compliment each other's like taste palette. Yeah, you might.
That's like Chipotle mixing Chipotle and curry. You're not gonna do that.
It just doesn't go well. They both separately they taste great.
Right,
but together.
And then there's times when the stars align where like shit does just like mesh. It's just like it has to. So I find it like with us, like there's certain things that like for instance, Jaws Dogs. That's all. Yeah. I think we would have murdered that. Yeah, I think that's if we would have had the time and things weren't going, it was so much crazy.
Yo, that's so out of context. Oh, right. Let me fix that. People knew like, what month?
I didn't even realize that.
So we got, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Niggas gonna be like, hey, yo, pause. The song is called Draws Dog, right?
It was like a homage to Tommy.
They call me Tommy.
Yeah,
I got the Draws Dog.
Yeah,
it was fine like that. You can't just say it out of
I didn't even think. I was trying to make it like I try to keep this as like home style, like we just talking to each other. But
right,
yeah.
But like we were saying, sometimes it's like two different chefs in the kitchen that can't really collaborate. But if a chef don't got the pots and pans, I can facilitate that, and it's like still collaborative effort at the end of the day too. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So what else we got, Sade?
So if you opened a hip hop themed restaurant, what would be the name of the restaurant, and what would be your like star dish? I thought that was a cool thing. I don't know. I've never seen hip hop. Well, yeah, we have Justin's.
So like themed restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting one.
I would do. Of course, you gotta have the Biggie brunch with the steak and eggs.
Yeah, T-bone steak,
everything's big.
Which is great.
Yeah. You gotta have that. You gotta have that.
That'd be fire. That'd be fire. Yeah.
That's like your staple.
You gotta have the You gotta have
some peaches and cream dessert. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Yeah, you gotta have some
peaches and cream dessert.
Yeah. Word.
What else?
I think that would be a cool restaurant.
You have to have the butter pecan. You know what I mean?
Oh, the ice cream.
Yeah,
you gotta have the ice cream.
Puerto Ricans. Hold on. They would have. I don't know. They would just be like. I think would it be great just having like a whole lot of rap references on the menu.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah,
like spinning the names into be.
Oh, like, I got one. You gotta have mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti. Yeah.
You gotta have mom spaghetti.
Have that shit on a sweater or some shit.
Yeah, right.
That'd be fire.
That's funny.
Oh, hell yeah. I was born ready like fish and spaghetti.
Ooh, the fish and spaghetti.
Call it fish and spaghetti, but don't really make it fish and
so
spaghetti.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
That joint was so fire when that came out.
Oh my god.
Shaking to that shit.
Oh my god.
Yo, I'm just trying to figure out where that other Harlem Shake shit that them kids was doing. What niggas was
oh my god,
the fake Harlem Shake. Like, why they call that them Harlem Shake?
I do not miss that shit.
Wait, why don't you miss that?
I do not.
The Harlem Shake days? What?
Because it's just like
I always wish I could Harlem Shake when I was a kid.
Because I'm a girl. And it was just like a whole hour of the party was just niggas shaking.
Hey, that shit was fire.
And it was, but I think it was a bit extreme.
Let's talk about those times. Like those times were like really,
that was good
really,
music.
Really special.
It was good music.
It was. And for the rock house, the rock Yo, can we like figure out what this nigga just said?
I'll look up the lyrics.
Hey, I was born ready. I was born ready like fish and spaghetti.
You see how back in the days everything was like kind of like color coded, and like they had like a real theme to it.
Yeah.
Now it's like a bunch of niggas.
Yo, that band moving in the background was so crazy to us growing up, bro.
Yeah.
Because we never seen a graphic moving it with the picture like that. At least I ain't never seen that. Here we go.
Hey. Alright, that's enough. That was great though.
I ain't gonna lie, that was my shit.
That was the shit.
That was the shit, yeah.
What
I'm so annoyed.
What do you think? Like, you see how niggas is like getting sturdy right now?
Yeah.
It's funny because hip hop has always been a combination of
music and dance.
Music, dance, and fashion.
Yeah.
You know
and
what
language.
I mean? It's like
language.
Yeah,
language is a big part because like
it's just like the way like we just live, and it's like whether it's Soulja Boy dancing and everybody's doing or niggas is doing the shake,
or even back to the mashed potato,
or niggas is but that was a hip hop.
Well, it wasn't. But was hip hop even out then?
That's
what I'm saying. Like when you think about the beginning of Black music, I think that's always been like a theme for Black music is having like songs with dances to go to them. Like even if it's not just hip hop, I think that's just a Black thing to do. I think we've always been doing it.
But it's a little different when like hip hop like really embodied like when you think about even how niggas was like breakdancing back in the day.
Yep.
And then they would dress like b-boys, and then they'll have
it
like
was a lifestyle.
Yeah, it was a whole
it
like
was big.
It wasn't
like,
that it wasn't just niggas like dancing in the club.
Yeah, it was like this was who you were.
Like getting sturdy, like all the little niggas getting sturdy and shit.
Oh my God.
Like it goes with the ski mask and the black and the you get what I'm saying?
It's kind of like everybody's trying to be like. It's like the Joker, almost like the hood Joker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
We live in Gotham City.
Yeah, we do. You
get what I'm saying? So it's just only right. All of this is culture.
Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know, bro. Something about it that's just like special.
It is. I be having mixed feelings about it. When you have a kid in your house who that's all he does, and he just won't. It's hot outside, and he won't take his ski mask off, and he just come in the room, just getting sturdy. It's like, all right, that's enough. My nephew gets sturdy. Everybody, it's just like I don't know. I guess it's like it's almost like somewhat more of a boy thing. Like, yes, girls do it too, but it's like boys just take it to a whole nother level. Like them dances become their life. Like I just know, like, I have videos of my son like at school in the auditorium with a whole bunch of kids, and it's just like, or even like when they were shaking, they'd be outside of White Castles, like ODing or getting light.
Yeah.
It's just like, we just like take it somewhere else.
Yeah, it's definitely a lifestyle.
It is.
I ain't gonna lie, I miss like growing up in New York. Even though I live on the borderline, but I don't know. I don't be in New York as much as I used to, but I do miss parts of it. I do miss that. It's just it's a certain energy of life that you just don't get really anywhere I've seen.
Nah, nowhere's like New York.
In New York. Oh man.
Let's look at some TikTok.
This is Instagram. This is the information highway. It's no more. And I talk to these heads, you know what I'm saying? These like older dudes that run companies. And it's hilarious to me. I only listen to people who are younger than me. These are the only people with ideas. You cannot give me any advice. You can help me. You can support Donda. You can cut a check. You can help me build some infrastructure. But I have the ideas. No one older than me has a better idea than me because I'm me. I'm the most relevant voice on the planet Earth. So don't try to tell me anything. Help me. Help me. Help other people. This is Instagram. This is the
I get it. I get it.
It's funny because I just clicked something random, but like
I'm gonna say this, man. Like I love Kanye, but I understand what he's trying to say. I feel like I always have to like decipher. Like I have to take Kanye's words and be like, you have to cut the shit out and then get the what the fuck he was
the meat.
You know what I mean? Because the shit is just like, okay, stop. It's just he's just like. I get it though. Like I get what he's trying to say. He's like the older people. Like this, I'm not gonna lie. Like I think this is the first time in like a long time where the older generation and the younger to mid generation is really on two different planes. Not even just almost two different worlds. Like for instance, my parents don't use social media like that. They don't understand it. My pops tries to. My mom completely. Like, if it's not the news, that's where she gets her information. And it's just like, my mom doesn't understand the concept of like news trying to push a narrative. You know what I mean? It's like, or like she gets it, but she's like, I'm still going to watch news. You know what I mean? She just will not go look for the answer elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, if somebody says today, you got to stop eating burger meat because it's cancerous. You're not going to say that shit to me and then I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to look it up on different sources because this is something I eat every day. Like, or I eat a lot. I need to go fucking find out. Like, what does this person say? Where's the science coming from? My parents won't do that. So I feel like there's a huge disconnect right now. I feel like more than ever, honestly, because technology, just so much information right on your phone, and so many like things that you can investigate and find information on. It's like I feel like younger people are becoming research specialists, whereas like people before, like you'd be like you ask an older person like, well, this person said this, so that's what it is. You ever had like an older person tell you like, hey, this person's gay? And you go your whole life thinking this person's gay just because somebody told you that shit. That's how, you know what I mean? Like,
but I get what you're saying. Like,
you know what I mean?
The old, well, I mean, if you think about it, like the younger generation's a little bit more open. If you go to millennials and down, we're a little bit more open. There's a lot of things that we just kind of just we don't listen. We're not obedient. Yeah. We're not blindly obedient. Yeah. We have to know more information before we submit to it. Yeah. We're not just taking your word for it. Like now we're questioning. And that's from like millennials down. Good. But if you look at Generation X and the boomers and baby boomers, they were taught blind obedience. Exactly. So it's just like that's the generation they come from. And if you think about it, like we're the generation where that splits because we saw what it was like to not have technology, and then we had it. Yeah, like so we can see the clear difference. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. They can't see it like we're seeing it. Like I have clients who are like 3 times my age. Yeah, they hate anything
to do with technology.
They don't want to fill out an application online. Yeah, they don't want.
Give me paper and pen.
Yeah, they don't. But like a lot of them are just have like this stuckness. Like they like things the way they were. They're very mechanical. And it's like, it's just straight cut and dry. I don't want all that other stuff. Yeah. But our generation is a little bit more explorative and a little bit more curious. And we're just like, I don't think so. Yeah. Or it's just like,
I'm gonna look that up.
I'm gonna look, right. Yeah. Google it.
Yeah. I'm gonna see what that says.
So we're just a little bit more open. And I think what Kanye is saying is like exactly that. Like a lot of the older generation, what can you tell me that I probably don't already know? Exactly. You get what I'm saying? The younger kids a little bit more their imagination's wide open. They're like have all these wild concepts. Yeah. That they're into shit that we weren't. Yeah. So they're probably a little bit more innovative than a person older than him.
I have something brewing up in my head right now, right?
What's that?
So what I got from this, right? You remember that analogy I had given you with the gumbo with the chefs in the kitchen? Mm-hmm. I think we're entering an age where it's a fast information highway. Uh-huh. And instead of people relying on their anecdotal experiences, we're looking more at statistics and what's actually fact. And I think soon society is going to be able to hold a mirror up to themselves, and we're going to figure out who has the best tasting gumbo fact based. Like if I have my soup, right, and I'm a chef, and like this analogy is for artists that are making good art or bad art. Because people are saying there's no such thing as bad art, right? You could like Soulja Boy, and I could like Kendrick Lamar. 2 different styles, but that can be your favorite rapper. Kendrick could be my favorite rapper. It doesn't necessarily mean either are bad. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
We should even break that down into a science where it's like maybe I'm just looking for things that are sonically good.
But I think we're getting closer and closer and closer because whether we like it or not, the market is always going to be right because they're the people buying the product. Yeah. And when you talk about the market, it's a mixture between who's buying the most shit and who's impacting the consumer the most. Exactly. Right? So, with Kanye, it's like, okay, he's talking crazy. He's like arrogant. He's like talkative, blah, blah, blah. But do the results speak for itself? Is Kanye making the best soup as a creative chef?
Yeah, he is.
You get what I'm saying?
So he made me listen to a gospel album, and I detest gospel music.
When I look further into the future, right, I see computers making music off of algorithms.
They're already doing it right now.
You see what I mean?
Like, there's literally an app that you can I want you to make a song about this, and it'll make a song for you.
And like I think when people talk about soul music, that's gonna be almost like a real coveted, sacred music because it was the last art form made by humans that actually.
I still don't think that it's gonna. I don't think that's gonna replace human art for the simple fact that it's like a computer could generate something that's like formulated and based off of past things.
Yeah.
But there's still innovative music. It's not going to create new music. It won't be able to. Like, how can it create something that has never been existed before?
That's true too. But when you look at what's on the radio now, how much different innovation are we really seeing?
I mean, think about it, bro. Like, I never thought that hip hop would be where it's at right now. Let's go back to.
Is that because of innovation, or is that because of the consumers liking their candy though? You know, is it really because we're pushing through a creative barrier, or is it because we're having a soothing? So you think so you really think the music now is more innovative than the type of music that was being created like in the 90s?
I don't want to say more innovative. I just think it's
like pushing boundaries and like getting music and to the next level.
So when I say let me just, when I do say these, I don't mean like every rapper. There's just like XX. I feel like even though he was taken from us too soon, I really have like I believe that he was gonna do something different than pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, I feel like their music is not, you couldn't find those types of rappers in the 90s. I feel like, there was like...
Yo, Kendrick, people are going to be upset with me saying this, right? Kendrick is a common.
No.
Kendrick is not a common?
No. Common cannot hold a candle to Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry. It's not just the context of what he's saying. It's how. The intellectual... Yo, Kendrick Lamar does like mathematical equations
inside the song.
Inside of his songs.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I know that.
His brain is on a different level.
I'm talking about like really like because he's like a common that is like more technically inclined. That's because it's the same type of
he's sonically better as well. Like, well, that's subjective, I get, but
that's what I'm saying.
He's advanced. You know what I mean? Like, it's not
and like I don't even want to break down artists and ripping, but it's like you really think we've never seen a J. Cole before, really?
Maybe J. Cole.
I'm not gonna front.
He's
Drake. Is something we've never seen
before at all.
And I'm not sure if that's Drake is innovation. But when you think about it, right? Mm-hmm. All these rappers, how they look the same, how everybody got Lil in front of their name, how it's like a whole. You know how Mortal Kombat, you have like the blue ninja and the green ninja and the yellow. They're all fucking variations of Sub-Zero. They're all ninjas, and if they're not ninjas, they're Cyrax and fucking the cyborg. You get what I'm saying? So it's like
I get what you're saying with that.
Before, like when you look at these titans, Eminem, 50 Cent, Jay-Z,
but see, so I get what you're saying. That's why I wanted to be clear. I wasn't talking about the Lil Pumps and the Lil Yachty's. I wasn't talking about them. I was so far thinking about like I hope there's a clear distinction between like Lil Yachty and like X.
Absolutely.
There's a clear distinction.
100%.
Okay. So that's when I said that, I was talking about artists like that. Like X, I'm like
he was taking music.
I never really like care. I'm not gonna say care. I never really put so much in an artist that was young because I couldn't tell where it was gonna happen yet. That motherfucker right there was going to be special.
He was.
When I look at this new generation, I see there's a bunch of checkpoints, and there's artists responsible for those checkpoints, right? So
what do you think was responsible for X's checkpoints?
X came out. I don't remember the years, but he came out and he let down the floodgates for all those Florida rappers, remember?
He did, but he did. None of them sound like him. X was doing scream rock.
Listen. Like all of those, like I get what you're saying because it was like he was like this little pocket opened up with like mosh pit music. right? But that style of da 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 da, yo, hey, da da da,
Yeah, that's his commercial shit.
That's his commercial shit. But he was the artist that was a checkpoint to push and innovate that style of music.
Yeah,
he was the only one doing that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, before, you have so many different artists that were pushing the culture together. Like, it's like X was like pushing that style of culture by his fucking self.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the innovation is done through checkpoints. I think another innovator was Pop Smoke. Yeah, Pop Smoke comes out, and he came out with that style, and then
now everybody sound like they're trying to sound.
Yeah, and now everybody sound like Batman, and it's Gotham City.
That's what they call it, the Batman voice.
Yeah, everybody sound like they got the Gotham City, but it's like,
but that's what I'm saying. So like, by you saying that, you don't think there's gonna be much more innovative. But who's to say though?
We only have one superhero at a time now. Before, we would have Titans to get the whole Avengers together.
Do we?
You get what I'm saying?
Now? Like think about it. So X, Pop, Drake, 3 totally different sounding artists.
But they're pushing they come when a new wave of stylistic music is coming in. Yeah, they're checkpoints.
Okay,
you get what I'm saying? Like,
so then what? Like, so you think the computer is gonna just take over that?
I think first, the human is going to be responsible for what's impressionable to the consumer, and then the computer is going to take over.
That makes sense.
So just like the human would be Pop Smoke, and now all these niggas that is getting sturdy is taking over.
But you know what I think is though also like that's the computer can't do is like, it's the artist that's interesting. It kind of like.
Well, you can always create an avatar or an artist.
Like,
there's a movie called Belle that I just watched. It's an anime movie. And basically there's like this, you can go put your body or your consciousness into this universe, and it's called You. And you create a different version of yourself. And she was a mousy little girl from a small town that went through some shit, and she couldn't sing anymore. Like, she used to sing a lot. Now she enters this world and she creates an artist. Nobody knows who she is. It's a beautiful lady, and she like becomes a pop star in the world. And I think that's kind of like where it's gonna go with, especially
but at the end of the day, it's still a person though.
It's still a person, but I think you can create avatars.
Yeah, I think that's
to be an idea and then put a voice behind it.
Yo, check this out, right? Mm-hmm. You know how Stan Lee came out with Marvel, right? A very long time ago. Spider-Man was in a comic book ages ago. But we're in the year 2022, right now, right? Mm-hmm. And that Spider-Man character has been reinterpolated many times to the point where you can probably sit down with your grandfather and grandson and watch the same avatar that is Spider-Man on screen. Mm-hmm. If you take that same idea and apply it to rap, it would be a computer making the music and an avatar like Bart Simpson. Bart Simpson, we familiarize him as it's a person. He's a drawing with a personality that we attach to a drawing. Yeah. You know, so if somebody makes a personality attached to a drawing with computer made music, we could be attached.
Create an artist. Not a real artist.
It would essentially be Spider-Man.
But it's still somebody behind the creation.
But it's not the genuine person. It's a character.
Yeah,
but
it's a representation.
Companies can make more money off of that because the person's not changing.
You know, it's funny that you bring this up too. Remember, I used to tell you like, yo, if I get too old doing music, I'm just gonna wear a mask and create an avatar. I started to think of doing something like that. Like, I knew there was going to be some type of merge between games and music, video games and music. Two things I'm like in love with.
I would do that. I would be brave. That would make me brave enough to.
I'm telling you.
To step
so
out.
I had the idea right before I stopped making music. I started thinking like, yo, you know what? I'm going to learn how to do coding and craft up avatar of myself, like. Whatever I want it to be, and this is something I can pass down to my kids. So, like, I carry like the gorillas. Like, say if
I love the gorillas.
The gorillas could have kept going and keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
And then pass their characters on to their kids.
Right.
And let them be it's like a character that never dies.
Right.
So I think in the end of the day, like, yeah, those things can happen, but also you gotta understand like what's going on in the world. Like again, we say like art is reflective of reality.
Right.
Things need to happen in the world for new art to happen. So in the end of the day, like when those things do happen, how's a computer gonna like talk about like the experience of being?
Well, have you ever heard of the AI? How they can like? Have you ever seen the videos of the AI where they're asking them questions?
Mm-hmm.
They give them like the ability to create thought. It's weird as hell, but like there was this one robot, I think her name was Janet, and the guy's asking her questions, and she's just like answering them, but she's making up her own mind about them.
That's crazy.
So I mean, if we think we're talking about innovation and where the world's already going, it's already technically inclined.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to have digital artists.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
That aren't real people, but they're ideas or concepts that we kind of attach ourselves to as artists.
I think it's possible. It could be possible. I just don't think it's going to take over as like, I'm not listening to no more humans. I'm only listening to computers. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You never know.
I don't know.
People might get tired of what's going on right now, and like we just want something different.
Could be.
With that very much said, thanks for tuning in. That's another episode of the R.I.C. Leave your comments in the comments. Please send your emails and questions to asksaderenee@gmail.com. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
And we'll see you next time.
Namaste.
Thanks.